Hey, what's up, guys? Alright, so I know I am late with this chapter review, but dude, the action in this chapter was so good. It was literally, this chapter had me so hyped after I got done reading it, that even though I am late with this review, I had to come and talk about this chapter. I had to come make a review about it and talk about what I thought about this chapter. Because the hype for Magna after reading this chapter of Black Clover is fucking real. Okay, so we start things off in Hage Village, and dudes, alright, I can't be the only one who finds it funny at this point. We've had this guy for like 3 chapters now. 3 chapters. And we even started this chapter off with him basically on his knees apologizing to everyone for what he did. And we still have no idea who the fuck he is. I mean, we know he's from the Purple Orcas. We know he has like plant poison magic abilities. But we have no idea what this guy's fucking name is. And the fact that we don't know what his name is after 3 chapters, and the fact that he's going to be, next time we see basically hanging out with him and, kind of working with him to stop the elves, I just find it kind of funny. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overreacting to it. I don't know. Like, seriously, dude, what is your fucking name? Anyway, we get the 3 of them, Asta, and this guy basically taking off to head towards the capital. We had the 2 of them split up, and basically says, hey, I'm going to take the plant guy with me because his ability to basically poison people will come in handy to immobilize the elves. And that's basically what his plan is until Asta can come there and basically turn them back into normal humans. But anyway, we check back in with Luck, Magna, and Vanessa where the last chapter left off, and dude, this is where the chapter heats up. Like, seriously, this is where the excitement for this chapter gets on point. Alright, so Luck. We already know Luck has no patience whatsoever. He has 0 patience whatsoever when it comes to a fight. If he sees a strong opponent in front of him, he jumps in there head first without thinking. Now, this elf inside him probably has even less patience because as soon as the chapter starts off, or as soon as we catch up with them in the chapter, he just jumps right in at Vanessa and Magna, ready to attack them. Now, he ends up missing by like basically a mile, and it's when he's trying to figure out basically how the fuck he could miss such easy targets. And that's when we see Rogue, Vanessa's little cat, basically jump on his shoulder and he's like, oh, so it was you. Which, by the way, I actually kind of completely forgot about Rogue. It's been so long since we've seen Vanessa do anything that I completely forgot Rogue was a character. But if you remember back to when Rogue was first introduced, we know that Rogue basically has the ability to basically change the strength of fate. I guess you could say, like, he could basically, if he sees someone like Vanessa cares about, or Vanessa herself is basically about to be killed off by an attack, he can kind of rewind time or rewind the strings of fate or whatnot, and basically change it so that they don't get attacked and they don't die. And that's basically what he does here. He knows that Luck is basically going to kill the 2 of them, so he actually changes things so that Luck's attack basically misses completely. Now, here's a drawback to that, because you would think, after seeing that, you would think, alright, well, this means that they basically have the out, because there's no way that Magna and Vanessa could take on Luck, even without the elf controlling them. Luck overpowers the 2 of them. With the elf, he's that much more powerful, there's no way they'd win this fight. But with Rogue on their side, basically based on so that the Luck can't attack them, they have the advantage. But here's the thing. Vanessa has trained Rogue to basically protect any member of the Black Wolves that it sees. And as far as Rogue's concerned, Luck is still a member of the Black Wolves. Even though he's being controlled by an elf and basically attacking the 2 of them, he still sees Luck as a member of the Black Wolves. So whenever someone tries to attack him, as Magna does in this chapter, Rogue gets in the way and stops the attack. So Vanessa basically has to call Rogue back from, interfering in the fight, and there goes their one advantage. But Magna does not give 2 shits. Magna's like, so, I'm going to go all out against this guy, and I'm going to wake Luck up because he's my friend. And I'm going to remind him of that fact. And like I said, this is something I've been saying for a while now, or something I've basically said in my last review, and I've been thinking for a while now. And that is when it comes to Luck, when it comes to waking Luck up, or from the elf controlling him, it has to be Magna, because we've built up so far that the 2 of them, between Magna and Luck, they basically had the same kind of rival best friendship that and Asta have. They built that up. And if anyone's going to wake him up, it's going to be Magna. There's no other character who can do it besides maybe Asta coming in with his magic sword. Which, by the way, when Asta jumped out the tornado to go, basically split off from I had the fear that maybe Asta would actually go in there to wake up Luck and it's actually going to interfere with the fight. I hope that doesn't happen in the next chapter, but we don't know. We'll have to wait to see. But anyway, the rest of this chapter is basically just Magna versus Luck. And dudes, this fight is hype. I mean, there's Vanessa helping out Magna the same way she always helps out people by using her strings to basically push them and pull them along. But it's basically just Magna versus Luck. And Magna, dude, comparing the way he fights in this chapter to the way he was fighting back during the World Magic Nights tournament, dude, it seems like this guy had months of practice. And there wasn't really that much time difference between the end of the tournament to when the mission began. And we know that this, this invasion of the elves in the beginning of that mission are happening within, a few hours of each other. So the fact that he's gotten this strong since the last time we saw him fight, dude, is impressive. And he's pulling out all the attacks. He's not really doing much. He's not really landing any attacks. But he does have Luck on the defensive, which is surprising considering the fact that Luck, we already know Luck is pretty much one of the more powerful members of the Black Bulls and completely outclasses everyone else, including Magna. And with the elf on top of that, there's no way Magna should be winning this fight, but he's keeping him on the defensive. And even when Luck thinks he actually has a chance of beating him, Magna turns the tables on him and is like, hey, no, this was part of my plan. And he actually blows him and Luck up. And dudes, I love this moment. I love the way Magna fights in this chapter, and I love the fact that he blows himself up along with Luck. Now, maybe I'm hyping this fight up a little bit more than I should be. Maybe I'm a little biased towards this fight because I love fire. I've always been drawn to characters who have fire abilities, and I've always said that if I gain superpowers one day, I'd love them to be fire-based abilities. So maybe I'm a little biased towards the fact that Magna uses fire and like as a magic ability, and the fact that he's going all out in his attack. But dudes, just the way Magna's fighting in this chapter kind of just draws me to the character. But it's not just the fact that Magna has fire-based abilities that's kind of drawing me towards him in this fight. It's because of the fact that, Magna is actually being smart about this. He knows that he has kind of more of the advantage of the fact that he knows Gluck's fighting style and his abilities because they train together so much to get that much stronger before the Rolling Ice tournament. But it's also the fact that he knows that he really does not have a chance against Luck in a real fight. In a drawn out fight, Luck definitely has the advantage when it comes to mana reserves. And when it comes to power wise, Luck has the speed and the power to basically take Magna out in an instant. So he knows that he has to basically barrage him with attacks, keep on attacking left and right, and be willing to take hits on himself in order to actually have the advantage and win this fight. But unfortunately, as we saw at the end of the chapter, even though Magna basically pulled out all his stops and blew himself up on top of Luck, basically to try to stop him and wake him up from being controlled by the elf, it doesn't really work. Luck actually comes up, or the elf beside him basically says, hey, who'd you say doesn't have a chance of winning? And we find out that basically it's not happening at the end of the chapter, but in the next chapter we find out that he's basically going to power up. He's going to power up in the next chapter, basically get Magna on the defensive and probably injure him very badly. Now, here's what's interesting about that. I'm pretty sure in the next chapter, this is my prediction for what's going to happen in the next chapter, I'm pretty sure that even though Magna's going to get very heavily wounded by Luck, that alone is not going to wake Luck up. Like, it's not going to be one of those situations where, Luck's going to see his best friend, his closest ally, basically being injured in front of him. And, the shock of seeing someone he cares about being injured is going to be what draws him out. No, I think Magna and Luck are going to continue to fight, even despite the fact that Magna is basically heavily wounded by Luck. He's going to go even harder in the fight against Luck. And that's what's going to be drawing him out. Because one thing we know about Luck's character is that this dude loves to fight. More than anything else, he loves fighting. And so if there's going to be anything that can wake Luck up that Magna can do, it's going to be showing him just how strong he is and basically drawing him out because Luck wants to fight a strong opponent. And that will to fight strong people will overpower the will of the elf and control his body. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the chapter review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm sorry for being late, but this chapter was so hyped that even if I was late, I had to talk about it. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys thought about this chapter. Let me know in the comment section what you think is going to happen later on in the series. And I'll catch you guys later.